about what you wanted to showcase on that home.
Well, anyways, no, I was just saying he had a real good flow to what he did.
Yes.
So that's the nice thing about it. And he showed up and he got there right on schedule. And we had to have all the workers because we're in the last couple days. We had the inspector coming back out for the CO inspection. There was some issues when I went for CO the day before that I didn't realize that we would have to correct. Number one, the Porta-John was still there. Well, the city of Ormond Beach doesn't want the Porta-John left on the job after CO. Well, we didn't want the workers still using any of the facilities within this house. So I had to get the Porta-John. Then there was a bunch of extra pavers that were left over from the paver driveway, and the owner was going to use them somewhere down the road, maybe to make a stepping stone walkway down to the seawall and stuff. So they were around the tree, the big tree. Well, you can't have pavers around the tree. And then the owner also wanted some of the lumber, 2x12, that was left over to build like these planter boxes, and I never understood why. So we stacked it up on the seawall out back for her to be able to get to. Oh no, can't leave that there either. So we had to correct all those little things, and we had like 2 of the sewer connections in the yard for cleanouts. And in other municipalities, we have to leave these things up like 6 inches so that you can't cut them off with a lawnmower.
Right.
Okay, but in Ormond Beach, they want them down at grade level. So we had to cut them off and lower them down. And other than that, there was just a few things on the list, and it went very well for a home that large. And they had to do the engineering review and count the trees and, you know, all the stuff that we go through. So Johnny's there, we're there, Brian, our painter's there. Cypress Painting is just a wonderful company up there also. And Carl, his guy, are fabulous. And we had to have the plumber, the expansion tank on the water heater. They wanted it strapped a different way because it's a super large one. But this is a minor little thing of, oh, we didn't have the house numbers up yet. You have to have your house numbers up when you go for a CO inspection. That's for fire safety, the fire department. They can find your house. Because if there's no numbers on the house, how does the fire department know where your house is?
Right, it's a code violation.
It's a code violation. 357 had to be in plain, has to be 4 inches tall, and has to be done a certain way. So Johnny came and I met him. I hadn't met him before. Terry had originally, you know, she does all the outside marketing for this other company, so we decided to use him. He came and he got his cameras and he brought in a box. And then, you know, I said, wow, I thought that's cool. And then after a while he went back and he got another suitcase and it had like more video cameras in it. Then later on he went and got another suitcase and it had more video cameras and it had microphones, and you know, he spent like an hour going through the whole house and he shot every room and did stills, and you know, I don't even know what all he did.
Steve had to buy the workers that were there lunch just to get them off the
Oh
job.
yeah, they were wanting to go back to work, and so I finally had to give them money and sent everybody off for lunch because
we needed at least an hour.
Caller on the line.
Oh.
It's Hal from Orlando.
Hal!
Hal! How are you, Hal? Oh, it's just a wonderful day here. What's nice of you to call us. What are you doing? Well, no, Hal, we don't like to knock down trees and knock down trees. What we often say is that we're not environmentalists, we're conservationists. So the first thing is, what kind of trees are they? You know, if there are... Okay, well, see, now here's the good question. If they're pines, they may not be indigenous to this area, and they're not good pines. They're more like lightning rods. They have a tendency to split off. in high windstorms, and they can cause damage. So we will eliminate those and get rid of those, and we might plant a more suited tree farther away from the structure, and those trees are not really that expensive. Now if they're oak trees, and then there's different types of live oaks, and there's laurel oaks and different trees, if they're any size of them, like if they're 3 to 4 inches around, I have dug some of those up and relocated them, but they really don't ever live unless it's the spring or it's the fall, and then you have to water them for 30 to 60 days. You disturb them, but you take them out and you think about where you're going to recenter them. If I'm taking out an oak tree that is a certain size, we can replace a beautiful oak tree for $100. It might be already 20 foot tall and 4 inches around. You make sure you place it far enough from the house so that when it does grow, we can plan for it, so that if there is a storm, it doesn't possibly have branches that break off. It might supply shade to the east or to the west and help with energy conservation. But there's some people that have character trees. We have people right now up in Lake County. He's got one tree on the whole 5-acre parcel. It's a big 200-year tree, and we're going to work completely around that, and he wants to set the house back.
It looks like the tree of life, Hal. It's a huge tree, and we had another tree similar to that on the Davis property in Ormond Beach, and it was a huge live oak. And we ended up flipping the plan because we wanted to preserve it.
And the city sometimes won't let us take out what they call specimen trees.
And they'll come out and wrap a tie around it, and that tree is saved, or they'll put the tie around the ones that they want removed.
But sometimes it's just not worth saving them, so to trash them and using, kind of vernacular, it may be better just to take them out and then put the best type quality trees in where you want. So if you take out 5 trees, let's plant 10 trees back, Hal. No, you really can't. I mean, what'll happen is you'll have the cost of digging them up and trying to relocate them, and then they're going to die anyways, and then you're going to have to take them out or something. But again, over 37 years of building, we have tried this. A lot of times you can get clusters of what we call, baby oaks. Maybe they're only, 10, 15 foot tall, and they're maybe 2 to 3 inches around. I will take a large machine and I'll go there and I'll just dig out the whole bucket of them, and that's like maybe 8 foot wide, and then go plant that whole big clump together. And maybe 2 or 3 of them will live, but it's certain trees you can relocate. Oaks, pines. Now if it's a palm tree, that's an easy one. Exactly, when they have the ball rooting instead of a spread rooting, that makes a huge difference, yes. So you can actually have palm trees and dig them out and lay them on the ground for 2 months, stick them back in the ground, and they'll start to grow. Yes, you are. Well, we can, like I said, you have such a potential with a full acre. Again, it all boils down to people's money and circumstances too. To save one tree and spend a couple of $1,000, or to save one tree and move the house back another 100 feet and have another 100 feet of driveway, or take that tree out and spend $200 and get a really nice tree. But that's where that we'll work with you to figure out what is the best for you based on your desires, and a bottom line, it usually boils down to money.
Hal, and there is another side to the coin that hasn't been mentioned. And Steve and I have been building for a long time, and we do have to go in and